I will stop sharing. I will stop sharing the screen every now and then to make sure that we can have all eyes on Jean-Christophe while he's talking.
So we're going to start with a centering exercise. For this exercise, you need to stand up. So only do it if it's comfortable for you to stand up. And I'm going to take you through a guided meditation. So just be safe. Just make sure that you're okay to do it. And oh, we have someone, I can't speak during the session. Oh, okay, no problem, JC. So here I want you to do is, I want you to stand up and to pay attention to your feet. Your feet are connecting with the ground. And imagine gravity pulling you to the center of the earth, and the earth is holding you. And you can sense your roots. You can sense your connection with the soul. And then when you feel very connected, I want you to start to pay attention to your calves. And then going up to your thigh, your basin, to your trunk, to your chest, to your neck, and then to your head. And imagine from your head there is like a piece of rope which is hanging. And like if there was a puppet master, you being a puppet, it's a rope is stretching you, stretching your neck. And you have your head in the sky. And so from the roots of your feet to your head in the sky, I want you to explore your length, your verticality. And as you stand in your length, I want you to connect within a quality of dignity. As you stand tall, you feel dignified. Let your breathing naturally adjust to anything which is happening in your body. Don't interfere, just let your breathing flow, connect with your verticality and embody dignity. Then we're going to sit. So I want you to take your chair again. And as you take your chair, you're going to keep your eyes closed, if possible. And I want you to sit with intention. So you're going to pay attention to the parts of your body in contact with something else. Your feet should be touching the ground. Your back is going to be against your chair, your thigh, maybe your elbow against the armchair. And then in that position of sitting, I want you to connect to your breathing and to notice any change maybe in your breathing. Finally, we're going to move to the next S, which is sigh, sighing. So I don't know about you guys, but today I already had a long day and I had some frustration during the day. So I encourage you to breathe in and then to sigh, to let that frustration out. So you breathe in pure, bright, light air. And as you breathe out, you let your frustration, any disturbance you have within yourself, out in the open. And you do that a few times. Couple more for you to get a chance to unload yourself from that frustration, to get a natural rhythm in your breathing. And then you're going to smile. You're going to force a smile on your face using your facial muscle. And if you had eyes open, you would have sparkling eyes. So you have to hold that smile for 15 to 20 seconds. Try to make it comfortable for you. Engage a muscle. And try to bring that inner quality of playfulness and joy. Try to use your eyes, even if they are closed, to bring that spark in your eyes, that lust for life, that pleasure of being here and now, breathing, standing or sitting, and alive. And then we're going to close with the last S, silence, for a few seconds. Thank you. Come back. I hope that despite the time difference, we've created that field where we are all centered and maybe connected. And I suggest we continue with the rest of the program. Marike.
Yes. We're introducing the word spark to you here today. And typically I think especially online sessions, we always ask that you have full focus and put any distractions away, including the phone. But this time it's different. So I'm going to ask you to grab your cell phone if you have them at hand, and to go to the website www.menti.com, and you can see the words typed here on the slide, and I'll switch the slide to a QR code. So if you want, you can also use the QR code to log on to the Menti website. And while I'm talking and leaving this slide on, everybody who has already got themselves access to the system will not yet see anything. Don't worry, we'll get there. So please go to www.menti.com. You only have to do this once. You only have to enter the code on the screen once or scan the QR code, and you will be able to participate in the interactive questions that we have prepared for you. Every time we put a question up using Menti, the code will also appear at the top of the slide. So don't worry if you feel like you've lost the connection. And I would like you all, if you have access to Menti, to answer the question, what comes to mind? What do you understand by the word spark? And I'm going to invite you to use only one word, because that way we can, together as a group, create a word cloud. And this will actually happen as we go along. And if you feel like more words are popping up into your head, feel free to enter more than one. Because it will add to the word cloud, and it will be giving a nice visual demonstration of what comes to mind for everybody joining us here from all corners of the globe, talking about the word spark. I see fire, light, energy. And for those of you who are new to the tool, the way this works is if the exact same word is used more than once, that word will appear larger on the screen. And there's no magic behind the color coding. This is just system generated. So what universe, ignite, glow, smile. That's nice.
So what we see some physical phenomenon like light, like energy, but we also see some emotion like joy, like smile. Wow, we have the universe. Wow, that's force, power, zap, glimmer. Okay, maybe one or two more.
Yes, let's see if there's some more. And to those who have just joined, If you look at the top of this slide, you see www.menti.com and a code. Please enter this once and you will be able to use the tool throughout the entire session.
Okay.
Excellent. I think these are very nice words. And this actually reminds me to tell you that everything that we show on the screen today and everything that you as a group generate, we will share it back to you within the next day or so that you can always tap back into the spark that we generate here today. Jean-Christophe.
Yeah, so I think you said it all. There is a physical aspect to the spark, which is very much the definition is a small fiery particle thrown off from a fire, a light in ashes. So all this connection with the fire, with the light, with the energies, that's where it's coming from. But in our language as well, spark is heartfelt emotion and that very intense feeling. And it points into liveliness and excitement. And we saw some of that in your responses. So let me maybe you can stop the presentation, admit the person. Let me explain to you why we came to this session. We came to this session because of a personal story of mine. I was always, as a child, a very sparkly child. That's who I was. And for a long time in my life, I remained very sparkly until my wife, 8 years ago, fell very, very sick. And she had a life-threatening disease. She had leukemia. And for 3 years, she was really touch and go. It was a very dark time in our lives. And I supported her the best I could. I became a nurse. I took care of the children. I took care of her. And at the end of the 3 years, she was not making much progress. And one day I asked her, is that working the way I'm caring for you? And she said, well, no. And I was like really puzzled because honestly, I had done everything I could. And I said, what is missing? She said, when I wake up in the morning, I look at the day coming and there is not a lot of light. It's like feeling at the bottom of a well. But the first thing I see is your face, doing a body scan on me, trying to see if I'm going to be well or not. And you bring some kind of shadow into my life. So if you really want to help me, bring back the light, bring back the sparkle that you used to have. And I was really puzzled. I said, took that away. And I said, do I even have a spark in myself anymore? And so I went in and I was a broken man. Talk about a vulnerable man. I was a really broken man. But in the chaos of myself, there was one thing which was left, a tiny little spark, something which could not be extinguished. And so I saw it. And I did the most difficult thing in my entire life, which was to give myself permission to bring it back. Despite the situation we were in, what I was going to give to my wife is spark and light. And this changed me, transformed me. I then made some life decisions. I became, in service of bringing that spark in a very different fashion. So I became a coach and a trainer. But it taught me something that I want to share with you, which is a spark is not something that you go after, that you chase, that you look for. It's your natural state. And that's what I want to be the starting point of our workshop today, to take that perspective that what if the spark was our natural state? Yeah, Marika, you can move to the next one.
Yes. Thank you, Jean-Christophe, for sharing that personal story.
And so what we want you to do is we want you to explore, if that's your natural state, why is it that I'm not feeling more sparkly all the time? And it's because we create a perfect system. We create some habits where we prevent ourselves to be who we are. In the case of the disease with my wife, I was doing a lot of things to ensure that that spark would never be there because there was, I believe, no place for it. Marika is going to explain in her own words how she also creates a perfect system at times to not be the spark that she is.
Well, everybody, welcome to part of my life. I'm a mother of 2 boys, 12 and 14. I'm an entrepreneur. I work full-time. I like to run marathons. I have a husband who I sometimes also have to manage. And in nature, I'm a very, I think, positive, lively, sparkful person. But yet, a lot of the times I can actually feel during the day or during the week, I can literally feel the energy flowing away from me. And while preparing for this session, I started thinking about what's my perfect system to lose spark. What do I do, or what do I do to myself to lose spark? And in a random order, I'll take you through some of the things that, at least to me, are part of my perfect system. And I don't know, maybe you'll recognize some things or recognize it in others. As I said, I'm a mom, and I'm a businesswoman, and I have a social life. So it feels sometimes like I'm juggling a lot of the balls at the same time. And one of the things that I do to really make me lose spark is to feel like I'm managing my kids. Managing in a sense that it's all time constrained, soccer training, who needs to eat at what time, who likes what food. And I can literally see myself going, okay, we need to make the plan. That's not why I became a mom. One of the things in my work that drain me from my energy is being behind a computer. Working in PowerPoint and Excel. I just don't get energy from it. I know it's part of the deal, just not too much. Work-wise, if I have to focus on a lot of the operational, well, it says shit, and I guess that's what it is. The operational shit that I have to do. It keeps me from focusing on why I became an entrepreneur and what I can do to actually help organizations have a most positive impact. If I have to focus on short-term stuff, I'm just keeping myself from working on the bigger picture. If I am reactive, I feel that the energy is dripping away. If I have to do too much things at the same time, and if I don't have focus, I feel like I'm doing everything half or less, and that's not a good feeling. The other thing, and that's more about, I think, the physical side of it. If I'm busy, I tend not to eat well, or forget to eat, or just do snacks rather than food. That has an impact on my energy system, and it makes me lose spark. If I spend a lot of my time working and I don't have my, let's say, play dates with my friends, I know that I typically get energy from being around people. So if I deprive myself of that, I actually feel it. I feel that the energy is not there anymore. In the same way, if I surround myself with negative people, I can feel myself being drawn into that negativity. And then if I feel that I'm busy and I lack energy and I don't have the physical energy, one of the things that I'll do is I'll stop running. And I need running in my life, because I know even if I don't feel like going for a run, it will make me feel better and more sparkly after I've done it. And I know it's all there. I created the slide. This is my life. So you should say, why do it? And you know what? These things sometimes happen on the same day, and I'm there, and it's my perfect system to lose spark.
So what we would like you to do then is to take a minute or two to take a piece of paper or whatever is convenient for you to basically start to draw your own perfect system. If your spark is your natural state, how are you interfering with it? What are you doing which is preventing you from tapping into that inner energy? And after a minute or so, then we will send you to breakout rooms where in groups of 3, you're going to share with each other for 10 minutes your system. So we give you 2 minutes and then you will get a pop-up which is asking you to join a breakout room.
And before we send you to the breakout, take a moment to look at the questions that are on the screen. What will stop you? What will you stop doing to reconnect to your natural spark? And what's the first tiny step that you can take? And I really encourage you to listen with curiosity what your fellow group members have to say, and also to share back with them, because the wisdom is within the group. And I can already say that, as before, we will then share back in plenary so that the collective wisdom will be captured in the Menti tool.
And I'm going to open the room again. And when you see the number, you just join and you look at these questions that we're going to put in the chat so you remember them. So, Marika, do you have access to the presentation? Do we do a copy paste for the question, or do I type them?
I can, I think, copy paste, no worries.
Okay, if you can copy paste, that would be super. Okay.
Yes, but I have to stop the sharing, but I'll put them in the chat, no worries.
I'm just checking that everybody is in the room, at least with 2 people, 3, 4, yeah.
Okay, let me see.
I'm going to remove Natalia. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's fine. And I think you can pause the recording as well.